All right, guys, I wanted to go over a piece of gear that I picked up recently that I plan on using this upcoming season to do some real estate photography. I'm gonna try to start adding more video to the services I offer, and one of the pieces of gear I was looking to pick up was a slider so that I could get some pretty decent, interior shots with a little bit of movement to make them more interesting. And so I did a lot of research online, and I ended up picking this slider up here, which is the Konova K2. Let me turn it around so you can see. Konova K2. After all the research I did, this came in at the price point that was best for me. A couple good things about it. It came in at $103, I think, this is a 49-inch slider, I think, or I'm not even sure. Maybe 39-inch slider, rather. And 100 centimeters. Okay, and it actually it's module, so you can actually expand it. And I did get an expansion piece that I will show you. But you can add things like flywheels to make the movement smoother, and parallax adjusters and things like that to get a nice panning as you're sliding and that kind of thing. It's made out of sturdy materials, ball bearings, so it's got a real smooth movement, and it comes with this nice case, and really for the price, it couldn't be beat. I looked at a bunch of other different sliders, some from Newer, and the less expensive ones from Newer and stuff, and they didn't have any option to motorize them, at least not easily. So I didn't want to deal with that. Because I knew ultimately I'd want to be able to motorize it. So here's how it comes. Full disclosure, I already did unbox this. I was going to do an unboxing, but really, it was just a box with this bag in it, and this was covered in plastic. So this is how it comes. It comes in a nice bag. This bag is actually padded a little bit. The zippers seem pretty sturdy, nice and sturdy actually, and it seems like a good density kind of Cordura material, so that's nice. Comes with these two, this is kind of wonky, but it comes with these two kind of styrofoam pads, and I guess the suggestion here is maybe you should leave those pads on this slider. Whenever you put it in there, it'll protect it a little bit better. Take them off using these little Velcro bands here. And this is your slider. So, not too heavy. I wouldn't call it something I'd want to go backpacking with, but I mean it's really not too heavy at all. It's got the feet attached here on the end, so that if you're on the ground, you can also put it on a tripod. It's got the attachment points here for a tripod. You could actually remove this and mount it directly to the rail. You also have attachment points here on the ends. On both ends, it looks like we've got, in every case, we've got a 1/4 inch, and we've got, looks like, I think is that 3/8 or 5/8 rather, 5/8 of an inch connector, so that you can connect it to things like light stands and things like that. Okay, you can also mount this vertically. I'm sure there's connection points at the end. Here are the feet. Let's just expand the feet to get a look. One of the complaints that I saw on some of the reviews online were that people were complaining that these knobs here in the previous iterations of this K2, they actually were plastic, but now they're a machined aluminum. So that was a nice surprise when I received it. Not that I was too worried about the plastic. Let me get rid of this. I wasn't too worried about the plastic failing on me, but so the feet here, they roll out like this. They've got a stopper here that prevents this top leg from going any further, and then this bottom piece is adjustable. It's got jaws here that kind of cinch together. They mesh when you screw it in, and it looks like you can also adjust the height of the feet here with this adjustment screw. The bottoms of the feet, the little balls, are plastic, but I don't think that's a deal breaker itself. So there it is. Pretty sturdy. I don't know if I would put a big movie camera on it, but I'm going to be using this for a DSLR. So for me, that's perfect. It's perfect. These pieces here are actually so you can put a little machine oil in this area right here, and you can use this to not only clean the bars that the slider slides against, but you can also use it as sort of reference points, so you know where you want to begin and end your slide if you're doing manual slides. This cap here covers the screw where you attach. This is not a tension adjustment. This isn't on or off. There is a way to adjust this tension, and that's by removing this top piece, and then there's another screw in there where you can actually, there's 3 roller bearings, and you can actually adjust the distance of one roller bearing out to kind of give it force it against one of the rails and make the movement a little stiffer. I like the way it moves now. I feel a little tiny bit of, I guess, grains in there almost, but I think, this is brand new, so maybe you give it a cleaning. That's it. It's actually, there's nothing. It's actually very, very smooth. It's well built, and let me show you. Let me grab my what I normally would use for a video head. This is what I would normally use on here. I would either use a bald head, or I'd use a rig like this for my DSLR. So let's put this on here. So you can see, you could slide it with a handle if you want, and I don't know, it feels pretty good. I mean, I'm not a pro. Well, I guess I am a pro, but I'm not a professional videographer, really. I don't consider myself it, but it seems nice to me. Moves nice. Now, the great thing about this slider, one of the reasons what really sold me on it was because of the ability, like I was saying before, that it was modular and you can attach things to it. So one of the things that I wanted to be able to do with this while I had it, and because I do a lot of landscape photography, is to actually do time lapses with it. Time lapses, cityscapes, or time lapses, astro landscapes and that kind of thing. So I wanted a way to be able to have this move by itself. So I wanted to be able to automate it, and that's where the Konova S2 kit came in, which is this kit right here. Now this kit was about $179 shipped, and it's pretty interesting. I've already connected it once, so hopefully we won't have too many growing pains here. I'll connect it again just so we can get an idea of how it goes on. What you get in the kit, you get your actual stepper motorized head here. You get 2 clamps, and these clamps are basically, you'll see where these are used, but these go on the ends here, and another one over there. Here you get this metal piece here. This metal piece here allows you to attach, you go on the other side, attach it to this piece here. Comes with a control unit. It also comes with a Cat 5 cable to connect the control unit to the stepper motor. Comes with a belt, and you'll use this belt. I'll show you how this is mounted. Comes with some screws and some Allen wrenches. It comes with a USB power adapter. If you want to power this unit with a USB power adapter, 5 volts rather, you can connect it right here with the mini USB. It also has a connection here to use Sony type batteries, and that's what I went and did. I went and got a couple of these Ray Power Sony batteries. I'll put a link to the description where they were. That was real cheap. I get 2 of them. I get a battery pack. They charge via USB. I can connect that right into the back of here, and that's how I can power the unit. So they connect right back there. That way, I don't have to have it connected to a wall, which would defeat the whole purpose of having a thing. Another cool thing is they offer you a free shutter cable. When you buy the unit, all you have to do is tell them what kind of camera you have, and they'll ship the shutter cable for you. So that's pretty good too. I'm gonna go ahead and get this set up now, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at how it works, okay? That didn't take too long. It took me about 5 minutes. So that's not too long. What we got here is we got a belt, pulley, and 2 anchor points, basically. As this stepper motor rotates, it's gonna move this piece, move this head, either right to left. So let's see. So I'm gonna turn this unit on with this button up here, and it's just gonna come up, and it's gonna ask me to set point A. So just using the joystick, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna set my point A. Let's say my point A is here, and then I'm gonna set my point B. And this is, I guess, I'm just doing this at a shorter length to save time, but I guess this is, depending on the length of your slider, you want to set these points. Okay, at this point, you can select either live motion, time lapse, or the reset the AB points. You can also, so here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some live motion here. So I'll just click on that button, and I'm going to do manual mode first. Let's see what the speed is at 100%. So right now we're going to leave our ramp as yes. All right, we're going to go to start, and that's basically going to allow me to use this joystick to move it. And that is 100% motion, guys. That's about as fast as you're going to get it to move. So if you want to go faster than that, maybe get a different slider. Okay, you see how it's slowing down towards the end? That's the ramp, although the ramp isn't that great. You'll see it also again when I start going in the other direction, it'll slowly speed up. Not really that smooth. It kind of just, there might as well be no ramp in there. I'd rather just deal with it in post, to be honest, production. But so that's the movement there. Okay. If I want to go and I want to change my speed, say to something like 50%, I can do that. So I'm going to choose 62%. Ramp, yes, start, let's go. And that's 62% speed. Okay, it's moving pretty slowly. All right. Okay, so what we can do here is we can go to live motion, auto mode. We can set our duration. Here I've got it set to 12 seconds. Ramp, let's say yes. Loop, yes. Start point A. And then, let's see, start point A. And then we'll click start. Okay, here it goes. Now what we should see it do is slowly slow down towards the end. There it is. Change direction and then go in the direction. And it should loop like this infinitely or until you tell it to stop. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's a nice to have. So you don't have to have somebody operating the camera. The other cool thing, which is one of the reasons why I got this, was the time-lapse feature. So let's stop here. Let's turn the camera on this time. Let's go into live view. Let's set it up so that you can get a look at it. All right. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back on again. We'll set our A and B points again. Every time you turn it on, it's going to want you to do that. That's a little bit annoying, but for me, I probably won't leave the belt on all the time. I won't leave it on when I put it away and that kind of thing, unless I know I'm going to be doing nothing but time lapses. So we'll set up point A here. Let's move it across. Set our point B there. We're going to go to time lapse. I don't know if you can see that. Exposure. All right, so this is really where it's going to get tricky. You're going to want to figure out what your exposure can be. Because it's operating the shutter, you cannot use your in-camera controls. You're going to want to have that set to manual mode. You're going to want to focus manually, and you're going to want to be able to set the know what you need to set your exposure to. Right now, it looks like this lens is also a manual lens. It's a Rokinon Cine lens, which doesn't have any manual f-stop information. So honestly, I'm gonna have to just wing it here. Right now, looks like I've got it set to 1/25th. If I take a shot, okay, it looks pretty decent. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it at 1 second. Time-lapse to be, you're gonna have to do the math there. But just to show you here, I'm just gonna leave it at whatever it's set to. That all looks good. I'm gonna leave the delay at 0. I'm gonna set my start point to be, and then I'm just gonna tell it to start. And let's see what happens. Okay, so right now it's not actually taking an exposure because my card is full, but I've tried this before and it works just fine. So it'll just move, take an exposure, and then move again. You can see the light, maybe you can see the light down here flashing. And basically it'll just run through its time lapse for you. You don't use an intervalometer on the camera. You're gonna have to use everything that's in this control unit. It's not ideal, but for the money, it's actually better than nothing. Another thing with a little slight annoyances here, this cable is not very long, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to either mount either with Velcro or something. It's not ideal. Where am I gonna put this controller so that it can move along with the unit, so that we're not, and then I'll have to figure out a cable management system as well too, so that we're not tangling and screwing up a time lapse, especially, if time lapses can take a long time and you're sitting around waiting or whatever. You don't want to come back to a ruined time lapse. So anyway, overall, not a bad deal. Now, I've seen other brands on Amazon that basically use the same system. I can tell it's the same system by looking at the screen. Basically, this is a little bit fancier of a box. It's nice that it has the battery, and it's actually a pretty good price. I mean, for say $280, I'm able to get an automated or motorized slider that'll do time lapses as well. Not all of them will do time lapses. Another thing that you can get, and it's a little pricey, and I'm not sure why it's that expensive, but they actually offer a automatic or motorized panning head as well. So now you can actually keep something in focus as you slide, and it's compatible with all the systems as well. It screws on. There's 2 towers that screw onto each end, and there's actually another belt that screws into another piece. So that'd be an interesting thing to look into. I don't know how flexible that would be with, say, a head like this. Maybe you would be using like a more of a traditional kind of ball head or something like that. But anyway, that's the Konova K2. They have a K5, they have a K7. From what I've read, the K7 is really nice. The K5 is a skip, and the K2 is really a sweet spot as far as like bang for your buck goes. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back to you and tell you, what I think, or give you any advice I can on it. But overall, I think it's a pretty quality unit. Again, this is, I haven't had a slider before, so I don't really know. I mean, I know people, you can spend $2,000, $3,000 on a slider if you want. Some of the Rhino sliders and the higher end sliders are really, really nice. But for the money and for how much I'm going to use it, this is just fine. You can also add a flywheel onto this thing, so you can get manual slides that are gravity assisted or just smoother. Another trick that you can do, a lot of people I see do when they do slides, is they actually put an elastic band, just like you would on a panning head. You can put an elastic band here or here and make your manual slides much smoother as well. So that's it, guys. The Konova K2 with the Konova S2 motorized bit added on there. Also, we've got the Ray Power PL batteries here, and I'll put a link down to all this stuff in the description. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to have some more videos coming up. I'm actually going to be reviewing this video ahead. I'm going to be reviewing this newer follow focus, probably reviewing the Rokinon lens as well, and I'll also be going over some other some audio stuff. So I've got an Apogee Duet that I'm going to be reviewing coming up. How it works in the field, which is to say not that great, although it's a great unit, and a couple other fun things coming along too. I've also got some more motorcycle gear reviews coming up as well, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.